Hi, I'm Jenny from Raw Art Designs. Welcome to a very simple barn painting. In this video, you're going to learn a little bit more about doing the timber technique. We've got the blended background and then using just a couple of the browns to make some stepping stones and some very simple flowers. Alright, so our next background is circle blended again. I'm going to start just with the white for the sun or moon, and then I'm just going to do a turquoise blended background. So you can start off quite light. I'm just double loading. I'm just going to come in and darken it up as we go. I only need to just come down halfway because the roof of our building is going to cover a lot of this. Now if you're not happy with your circle there, rinse your brush right out, wipe it off, grab some white and just go around again to blend that in nicely. And I'm just going to put a green layer down, just the background. We will come in and go over all that when it's dry, because our barn will fit on. Just putting green on there just so it's got a base coat. Alright, so very simple. We'll let that dry or dry it off with the hairdryer and come back to do the barn. Alright, so we're going to do the shape of the barn first. So using your flat brush, again you can draw this if you need to with a Sharpie or grey lead pencil. So we're just going to break it down into shapes like we did the birdhouse. So we've got square, and it's going back, and then we've got a little bit that comes down off the side, and then our roof is quite high. And that's going to go off the page. We're not actually going to see that part. So we're going to give a coat first of the burnt umber, just to get that on. Our roof is going to be more like a grey colour, so I'm just going to do a coat of that. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of black and make like a dark grey, and we'll come back and add some highlight on that after. And I'm going to do the door is going to be in black, although that's looking more like grey, but we're just putting a coat of black under there. And we're also doing some shadowing just under the roof. I'm actually going to use two colours to do my wood look this time. I'm doing a roof line there. And I'm just going to highlight the corners with some shading. So my panels are going to come down under the roof down that way, but when we get to across the barn, they're going to go crossways this time, and then the door will be the other way. So I'm loading up with the burnt umber, and then I've got some raw sienna and a little bit of white. So I've got a couple of colours on there because I just want it quite an aged look. And I'm just going to come down. So how we've been doing our wood. Now if you want, you can come back over with the black. And then we're going to go across the other way. Got too much white. And then we're going to go the same. So I'm sort of loading with that sienna colour and the white, and using my brush to give the panel looks. It's nearly dry brushing too, like there. I'm just gently popping that on. And then for my door, I'm going to do that more red colour. So if you want, you can then come back over your black to make that really stand out. And then we're just going to go gently over the top of that roof with a little bit darker colour coming down. Whoops, I went into the black. Some roof there. You just need to touch up. And if you want, you can do the nice big cross on the door. You know how sometimes you see on a barn they have that cross. Alright, so then I want to do some grass and some flowers in there. So I'm just doing some green and yellow. This is a very, very simple scene. So I'm just going to, actually I might do a little bit of a bush back here. So we're just going to stickle with the green. That just looks like bush. And then with the green and yellow, we're just going to do, just like we did in the previous painting, just try not to have too much paint on your brush. And we're just going to build up that grass. So flick some up on the sides of our building. I'm just doing little flicks with a little bit of green, a little bit of yellow. Actually, what we might do is we might just do a little path on this one. Cobblestone path. So same colours, we can load up with the red, the burnt sienna, and then on the bottom of the brush, so it's double loaded, we can do some like cobbles. I want to put a little bit of white up the top. So this looks like a little path. I am going to put some just put a little bit of black into that green. See if that darkens it up. No. Just added a little bit of white and made it like a limey. We're just doing some longer bush here at the front. And then I'm just going to come in with some tiny little blue flowers. A little bit of that phthalo blue, so that dark blue. And a little bit of white. And then you can just come in and do some, just stamp some little stamps on just to give a little bit of colour. And we'll just do some little tiny little dots in there as well. And there we have it, a very easy little barn painting. We'll take the tape off. Reveal. Oh, I went a little bit under this time. There we go, we have, that's day 14 done and dusted. Hope you have enjoyed doing your little barn painting, and I will see you tomorrow for day 15.